Ahmedabad's Bhadrakali temple, wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a regular visitor. The entire family make sure they visit the Bhadrakali temple in Ahmedabad, and then we are hearing this particular news, because initially we have been told that she was recovering, but now she is no more. Prime Minister Narendra Modi clearly visible how inconsolable he was. In fact, India Today was very close, and we clearly saw that how the Hindu rituals were performed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with his brother, leading from the front. No top leaders, no VVIP dignitaries, and no such high-profile final rites have been taken place. Let me tell you, entire BJP leaders, the BJP workers are clearly said that nobody should come around at this particular place. It will be a very low-profile event. It will be just the close family of Prime Minister Narendra Modi who will be performing the final rites. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived at Pankaj Modi's residence, Raisen in Gandhinagar, he met the family members. He also paid tribute to his mother Heeraba. He folded his hand. He actually how he bowed down to his mother Hiraba. Those visuals which we saw clearly, and just let me tell you, just in 10 to 15 minutes after Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached there, the final rites actually started. The Antim Yatra, which we called according to the Hindu rituals, they started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his brother carrying the mortal remains of Hiraba on their shoulders. They carried the mortal remains for around 500 meters, and even before keeping the mortal remains in the Shamshan Yatra vehicle, let me tell you, the Hindu rituals were properly followed. The body was kept down, then the puja was offered, the body was properly rotated, after which then the body was kept inside.
I also see, Saurav, that there is has the Chief Minister of Gujarat also been is he also inside, Bhupinder Bhai Patel, if I'm correct? Any other details of any other Neta, if someone close to Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also being permitted, or is it just primarily and mainly the family members inside?
Well, that's right, and these visuals... Well, Pooja, I saw three people very prominently. Along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it was Gujarat CM Bhupendra Bhai Patel. In fact, let me tell you, Gujarat CM Bhupendra Bhai Patel was at Ahmedabad airport. He was sitting along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in one vehicle. Before that, Gujarat Home Minister Harsh Sanghvi reached the residence of Pankaj Modi in Raisen, Gandhinagar, and nobody else I saw, Pooja, let me tell you, that no of the top ministers or the top leaders from the BJP, because clearly instructions were given by BJP officials as well that they should not crowd the place, they should not come at that particular, nobody should be getting any inconvenience, and that's the message was given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that people should not get any inconvenience, and therefore this should be a very low profile event, and therefore none of the cabinet ministers of the BJP leaders were present over there. Only I saw Harsh Sanghvi right now over here. I saw Purnesh Modi, and some of the BJP persons were of course present, but it is right now a very close and low profile event which is right now taking place. Only the family members and some of the relatives from Vadnagar, that is what we have been hearing, that only the family members of the Modi family and some of the relatives from Vadnagar who are only present here. Nobody else is allowed here. Nobody else is allowed to crowd at this particular place, and the final rites have already started. And behind me, this is Sector 30 in Gandhinagar. It just took around half an hour from Pankaj Modi's residence to coming here at Sector 30 that the mortal remains are right now over here. You can see the still some of the people are coming here in the visual. I asked my camera person Sajid Aram that there are some of the family members who are still coming. There are the close relatives who know Hiraba, who are very close to the Modi family, their family. They are still arriving over here, and what we have been told that proper Hindu rituals will be followed, and which have already started inside this crematorium ground at Sector 30 in Gandhinagar, and it's a sudden demise basically, if I say, because we have not seen Hiraba in hospital taking any treatment for a very long time. In fact, let me tell you, when I was speaking to Prahlad Modi, who is brother of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he clearly stated that she does not even like to take
rites have started now, and of course,
treatment only.
Yes, lighting a fire to the pyre. There, the final moment, the mortal bond between Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his other siblings, with Heeraba Modi. Of course, as we believe that this will be a passage to the soul, to another world, the soul of the mother always around. You know, the fact that the bond like this never goes anywhere. But these are, of course, for the mortal world, the tradition, the ceremonies that need to be done. The final rites, the cremation taking place of Heeraba Modi at 100 years of age, a glorious century that she did manage to live in and managed to see so much, specifically the fact that her children were doing well in life. Remember, a family that came from poverty, restrictions, had seen the bare minimum, but as constantly Prime Minister Modi also in his own words have said, and I just want to reiterate it here as we bring in these visuals of cremation, that संघर्ष के हर पल से बहुत ऊपर एक माँ की इच्छा शक्ति होती है. Beyond any struggle is the willpower and strength of a mother. अभाव की हर कथा से बहुत ऊपर एक माँ की गौरव गाथा होती है. Beyond the stories of restrictions, of problems, is the story of the glory of a mother. These were the words of Prime Minister Narendra Modi while he concluded his blog on the 100th birthday of his mother, Heeraba Modi. And the visuals there that we had seen over the years of him meeting, washing the feet and feeding the mother, these, remember, are moments also symbolizing that the son acknowledging the contribution of his mother, the love and the respect that he was giving back to the mother who had raised him very well. And throughout the blog he says that she was, while she did not have formal education, this woman was always encouraging, and she was definitely intelligent, she was humane, she helped people around, she did her own work, she was mentally and physically fit. Today, bidding an emotional goodbye, the son Narendra Modi to his mother, Heeraba Modi.
अंतिम सांस ली और तभी प्रधानमंत्री ने ट्वीट कर लिखा था कि शानदार शताब्दी का ईश्वर
This, remember, is the final part of the Antim Sanskar. The last rites that are taking place with the chants of Ram Naam Satya Hai, only the God's name is the truth. With the belief that the human soul or Atma is immortal, but these are the mortal world ceremonies that need to be done by the family members. And this with regard to the manner in which, of course, as we all know, the cremation is done, so that the universe of the human body, it consists of the 5 elements, earth, water, air, fire, space, all of that merges again together. So from where you're born, you return. It's a moment everyone has to face, but of course for the closest family members, and specifically for a son or any child, to be able to have this moment, even after, of course, a celebratory 100 years of life, will not be an easy moment. And as reporters on the ground are telling us that when Prime Minister Modi was being the pallbearer and taking the mortal remains of his mother on the shoulders, that he was inconsolable, that there were tears in his eyes, and it is expected. It's a personal moment. For us, we know him as the politician, but right now he is the son and a family member, and among those who've seen him rise from just a name to, of course, becoming the Prime Minister twice of a country. So these are, of course, have to be cremated. Remember, the next few days also will be important, because it's not just the Antim Sanskar or the last rites that are done of the cremation. It is also the next few days where there will be prayers, where there are ceremonies that are done specifically in the manner in which the food is offered, the ashes then are taken in a kalash to be released into the river Ganga. So there will be, of course, those procedures that will also have to be followed at least for the next 10 to 14 days. So that remains to be seen because, of course, right now, today's event, and it's important to mention here that, of course, as a Prime Minister, he has a packed itinerary. There were events scheduled to be inaugurated in Bengal, and there was an announcement a few hours ago that had come from Prime Minister Modi that they're heading very soon to Bengal and will be among people, but of course that has changed. But the event will go on, and Prime Minister Modi by afternoon, by evening, will be through video conferencing, will be ensuring that they continue with the work that must go on, because of course that also is a part of the schedule as a responsibility and work. And as Prime Minister Modi had said about his mother, that when she turned 100, she gave me a lesson. I'll quickly read that lesson to you. जब मैं उनसे उनके 100वें जन्मदिन पर मिला तो उन्होंने मुझसे ये बात कही थी जो हमेशा याद रहती है कि काम करो बुद्धि से, जीवन जियो शुद्धि से, work with intelligence, live with purity and simplicity. Prime Minister Narendra Modi watching the final moments as he has laid light to the pyre of his mother. Of course, accompanying him are other brothers and family members. Only close family members are being permitted, but Chief Minister of the state, Bhupendra Bhai Patel, Shakti Singh Gohil, they have also been allowed, as we are being told, inside the cremation ground. Glorious century, 100 years, today resting in the feet of God.
अंतिम सांस ली और तभी प्रधानमंत्री ने ट्वीट कर लिखा था कि शानदार शताब्दी का ईश्वर।
Important to mention here that, of course, despite the announcement that has come at about 8 a.m. this morning, Prime Minister's official handle, the PMO India handle, had said that Prime Minister Modi will be joining today's scheduled programs in Bengal via video conferencing, including the launch of other projects. This, remember, is of course the professional duties that must be followed. But that will be after this personal duty of a son, giving his mother a respectful, sorrowful send-off. In the next few minutes, the body is going to be turning into ashes that will then have to be released into Ganga. Can only imagine right now how Narendra Modi, the son, would be feeling. Let's listen in now to other reactions also come in, irrespective of political ideologies, people offering their condolence messages.
मिलते थे तो बहुत ही भावुक हो जाते थे और उनकी माताजी की भी सीख उनको थी कि एक सादगी भरा जीवन उन्होंने बिताया और कर्तव्य हमेशा ईमानदारी से निभाते रहो, ऐसी सीख उनकी थी। ये एक मिसाल है, एक आदर्श है ये देश को और दुनिया को, और आज वो हमारे बीच नहीं रही है। ये देशवासियों के लिए बहुत ही दुखद है, हमारे देश का ये बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है। महाराष्ट्र की ओर से मैं उनको भावपूर्ण श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूँ।
हालांकि आज ऐसा मौका नहीं है, लेकिन शिंदे साहब, एक सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रही हूँ, क्योंकि अक्सर हमने देखा है जब कोई महानुभाव, कोई बड़े व्यक्ति की मृत्यु होती है तो एक बड़ा सियासी आयोजन होता है, तमाम मुख्यमंत्री, नेता, सभी ओहदेदार पहुंचते हैं, लेकिन आज बहुत ही सादगी से उनका अंतिम संस्कार किया गया है।
यही तो उनकी सीख थी, यही उनका आदर्श था, वही प्रधानमंत्री जी निभा रहे हैं और बहुत ही सादगी के साथ, और ये उन्होंने अपना जीवन बिताया। और आज देखिए अंतिम संस्कार भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बहुत ही सादगी से ये अपना कर्तव्य निभाते हुए हम सब लोग देख रहे हैं। ये बहुत ही अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी मिसाल है, एक आदर्श है पूरे देशवासियों के लिए।
शिंदे साहब, बहुत परेशानियों से एक माँ के तौर पर उनका जीवन बीता है। प्रधानमंत्री खुद बहुत भावुक हुए थे जब उन्होंने फेसबुक के कॉन्क्लेव में ये कहा था कि मेरी माँ ने मेरे परिवार को पालने के लिए अपने पिता का जिक्र किया, लेकिन माँ पर आते आते वो बहुत भावुक हो गए थे, रो पड़े थे। उन्होंने कहा था कि कैसे वो आसपास के घरों में काम तक करती थी ताकि अपने बच्चों को वो पढ़ा सके, पाल सके, अच्छा जीवन दे सके। ये प्रेरणा स्रोत है। वो उनकी भूमिका दुनियादारी में अव्वल रहना, अपने बच्चों को पालना, नागरिक के तौर पर 25 दिन पहले जाकर अपना वोट भी डालना, ये एक संदेश है
हाँ।
शिंदे साहब।
ये बहुत बड़ा संदेश है और उन्होंने काफी कष्ट किए अपने परिवार का पालन पोषण करने के लिए, और इसी वजह से इतने बड़े देश के प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी भी उनके बताए हुए राह पे चल रहे हैं। हमेशा उन्होंने उनके माताजी ने कर्तव्य को प्राथमिकता दी है, प्रायोरिटी दी है। ये हम लोगों ने देखा है, 100 साल हुए थे फिर भी जाके वोट करना और पूरी तरह सादगी के साथ एक सामान्य माता जैसे अपने कर्तव्य निभाती है, इतने बड़े प्राइम मिनिस्टर होने के बावजूद उनके जीवन में उन्होंने कभी भी बदलाव नहीं आने दिया। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी मिसाल है और एक बहुत बड़ा संदेश पूरे दुनिया भर के लिए और देशवासियों के लिए है।
धन्यवाद आपका एकनाथ शिंदे साहब हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, जो कि अपनी संवेदनाएं प्रकट कर रहे हैं।
Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, they're speaking to our sister channel Aaj Tak. While we stay on with these visuals, I'm also joined in by Gaurav Sawant for the latest. Gaurav, you know, of course, this is a sorrowful moment, but I cannot help also but remember, and we must constantly mention that while Narendra Modi may have become the Prime Minister or of course is leading the country today with his own hard work and the battles that he's won by himself, by his own determination, but it must be a mother's confidence imparted, and that is the culture to acknowledge and respect it. A mother, despite all restrictions, to have given the opportunities, confidence, lessons to the son to become the Narendra Modi that he did today.
You're absolutely right, Pooja. His mother had a very, very important role in shaping Prime Minister Narendra Modi's life. Also his policies, if I may. You'd recall the Prime Minister had often mentioned as a child he would watch his mother cook food, gather firewood and cook food at home in a windowless kitchen. So when he became the Prime Minister and had an opportunity to make changes in lives of people, he came up with the Ujjwala Yojana of cooking gas to be made available to people below poverty line at a certain rate. So Ujjwala Yojana comes out of the hardships that he saw his mother face, and he didn't want other women in this generation to face those kind of problems or gather firewood. Point one. Point two, once again, a house that did not have toilets and in those times in Vadnagar, that was one of his key result areas when he took over as Prime Minister of India. Izzat Ghar or toilet, as the government put it, to be built in houses, and that was a game changer as far as hygiene and women's health was concerned. Again, he'd seen his mother face hardships. He didn't want other women to face those hardships, so he brought about these changes. So in a way, Pooja, that also reflects how his mother's life had a major impact even on his policies. And like you and I have been discussing, his mother was constantly by his side, virtually supporting every decision that he took and being out there in front. So, for example, just in December, voting for assembly elections despite 100 years of age, many said perhaps because of the cold and ill health, she may not be able to go, but she went. Whether it was demonetization, she stood in the queue to get money changed, or vaccination, she stood in the queue and got the vaccine done. So all of that showed how close the mother and son were and how aligned the mother was to her son's growth story.
And, can only imagine what the son today would be feeling. For us to know him as a politician, as a Prime Minister, is the professional aspect. But for a son to come to Gujarat this time and not meet his mother, the meetings that were heartwarming pictures. Today, for him to light the pyre of his mother, Heeraba Modi, must be a heartbreaking, sorrowful moment, and for any son today. And you can clearly see from these visuals on our screen right now, trying to hold back those tears when the closest of the close family members, the sons of the family today, together lighting the pyre, sending a goodbye forever to Heeraba Modi. But Gaurav, a mother doesn't really go anywhere. It is, of course, the mortal world that she's left after a glorious century of 100 years. But it's the lessons that she's left behind, and watching the children grow, prosper, perhaps that would be a relief to her too, to know that from where they came and to manage to see them do so well in life, for her to say, I know that she's going to become the Prime Minister before he did. All of this confidence clearly is what is perhaps reflected in Prime Minister Narendra Modi also today.
very solid grounding, very solid grounding he's had as a child. And he'd also written that how his mother would sing bhajans,
Yes.
chant bhajans,
Yes.
tell him about the way gods lived, the way acharan, the way your conduct should be in public life, and how he imbibed the Lord. Also, the fact that every birthday, she would present him a Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and lessons from Srimad Bhagavad Gita actually help you live your life. It also talks about how शरीर नश्वर है लेकिन आत्मा तो अजर अमर है, and that is a lesson that actually helps you tide over in any difficult situation. You're absolutely right. A mother is the most important person in any individual's life. She's your first guru, she's your first school. Your entire grounding as your personality reflects what your parents have taught you. So you're absolutely right. Deep pain, but also the fact that a mother's life guides him while she was alive for 100 years, and also perhaps in the years and decades to come. She led by example. The Prime Minister's faith in Lord Shiv, the Prime Minister's faith, his beliefs, a lot of what he talks about are lessons that he's learned from his mother and is now passing on to the next generation of Indians.
And, to even think what Prime Minister Modi must be thinking or feeling right now, watching this last final moment, the Antim Yatra, the Antim Sanskar, as it is called, for him to have said, मैं अपनी माँ के इस जीवन यात्रा में देश की समुची मातृ शक्ति के तप त्याग योगदान की दर्शन करता हूँ, that I saw what my mother faced, and I know that many women, crores of women across the country, the world, that there is no goal that these women cannot achieve, जो भारत की बहनों बेटियों के लिए असंभव हो. Anything is possible because he saw his mother achieve everything despite restrictions. Today, that final goodbye, because now when he returns to Gujarat, there will be no Heeraba Modi at the residence in Gandhinagar. But of course, there will always be lessons that the mother has given to the son, to the child, Narendra Modi. Also, Gaurav, if you can add on here, because the Antim Sanskar here at the cremation site are not the end. There are next few days also that will be very crucial. The ashes to be released into the river Ganga. Then, of course, there are other prayers and ceremonies that are also done for the next about 10 to 12 days. So that's also going to be a procedure that will have to be followed. And this Prime Minister will have to follow, considering there's always a packed itinerary of work around him.
And the fact that he continues to work through the day to day, again, leading by example, the fact is that his mother lived a full life, 100 years. Anyways, in our scriptures, we say, Jive Shardha Shatam, that maybe live to be 100 years, and a very happy and healthy 100 years is what we pray. Her mother, his mother, she lived that full life of 100 years. But also, if you look at the Mahamrityunjay mantra, what is it that the prayer is? It is not immortality. It is to live a full life, and once that life has been lived, once the aims have been achieved, then you move on. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mokshya Mamritat. You also want release from the cycle of birth and death, and attain salvation, moksha, which is again a prayer ki Ishwar Divangat Atma ko apne Shri Charanon mein sthan de, that you release from the cycle of birth and death and attain moksha. So that is something that the prayer is.
Just for the mortal remains,
we
Gaurav.
are a
Yes.
Karm Pradhan society, that work is worship for for the nation, for the people.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what the Prime Minister intends to do.
That's true, because he did have, yes.
The Antim Sanskar is over, he gets back to work, addresses the people in Bengal, and goes ahead with all that work, all the work that remains, especially in India's year of G20 presidency, which 2023 is a very, very crucial year for India, since our country is the president of G20, an extremely important grouping in an extremely crucial year.
That's correct. At about 9 p.m. yesterday, he had said in Kolkata, I will chair the second council of the National Ganga Council. There were a lot of inaugurations that were planned as well, the Howrah New Jalpaiguri Vande Bharat Express. But this, of course, the news that broke in, he rushed early morning at about 6 a.m. when he put out the first statement about his mother, sharing a beautiful picture of her holding a diya and the light that she spread in her 100 years on this earth. And then an official Prime Minister's handle has said that that event will go on, because after these personal duty, the karma that he has to follow, there will be the professional dharma, which is, of course, that the Bengal event will continue, and there will be video conferencing now. So he will not be there in person, but he will be there to ensure that that professional duty is also, of course, concluded. Also, Gaurav, you know, we talk about we talk about the last rites and cremation, and this fire, this last rite is primarily because it's the body, the human body of 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, space, that, you know, from where you come, you return. But the soul is immortal. So the soul is just going to another world. It's going to go from one lesson to be imparted to another. And you know, that perhaps is the beauty of the faith here, that of course this is the end of one journey, but it's not that the soul is going anywhere. And that perhaps is the reflection that one lives with, that once on this earth, the soul and all that it garners here will be there forever.
In future life, you know, in case there is future life, or you attain salvation, you attain moksha, the prayer always is, you know, release, the prayer to the Almighty is, release me from the cycle of birth and death, and attain salvation. But that also happens once you've learned the lessons for which, you know, God intended you to be on earth. So otherwise you continue to go through cycles of birth and death, and yet the soul learns, and the learning, you know, according to scriptures, happens in every life. This has been a full life as far as you know, Hiraba was concerned. The fact that she was able to lead by example. Her son became Prime Minister of the country. She stood by her son's decisions, difficult decisions at times. You know, the Prime Minister has also written about it, that his father was very unhappy with his decision to go to the Ramakrishna mission, but his mother stood by his decisions because she always knew that he was meant for something bigger. And that's actually held the family in very good stead. The family and, you know, the nation, the fact that he became Chief Minister of Gujarat from 2002 to 2012, and then 2014 became the Prime Minister once again in 2019, where his mother was a constant pillar of strength as part of that journey. For the Prime Minister, the journey continues. His mother, mortal life till now, and from now, through her teachings and her example, you know, her leading by example, Pooja.
And it's actually, you know, amazing and incredible when you read that blog, which she had written on the 100th birthday, and this was titled Mother. And for him to say that, you know, this woman did not have formal education, but she knew home remedies. There were people, local residents, who would throng to her, bring their infant children, because she would have these home remedies with her, and she would treat them, cure them as much as possible. And that's one of the reasons, Gaurav, that when the mortal remains were being moved to the cremation site, that there were so many local residents who would have known her, whose children would have been cured or treated in so many ways with home remedies by her, were crying, were emotional. And to think that this was a woman, we just see her as the mother of Narendra Modi and other children, but she was clearly serving the public at the level that she could. Around her, she was encouraging education even though she didn't have one. She was helping people even though she was no doctor. But from the generational signs that she knew, that our culture and our history has been known to have, that she was serving and spreading, and clearly was a woman of her own mind.
She absolutely was. You know, whether it was the Prime Minister's blog or his, you know, when he talked about his mother, there was immense pride. You know, the manner in which a lady, a young woman who didn't have education on her own, was able to handle her life as a child, where she incidentally had lost her own mother at a very early age, and that was a regret that stayed with her. But all the positives that she had in her life, she didn't want her children to suffer the same, and that was why she was able to devote so much more the poverty that the Prime Minister lived in as a child, the fact that his father was a tea seller, the fact that his mother would actually clean utensils in homes of others. They didn't let their children face all the hardships that they were facing. But somewhere down the line, the Prime Minister was able to glean from the hardship that she faced, that when he became powerful enough to be able to help people, he tried to help people as much as he could through government schemes, whether as Chief Minister or as Prime Minister, to ensure that other women do not face the hardships his mother faced. And she stood by him in those decisions. Point one. Point two, you've mentioned that fact, Pooja, that when he became Chief Minister, her aim was, you must acknowledge the role of your teachers, of your guru, and that guru shishya parampara in India is actually huge. When you say matra devo bhav, pitra devo bhav, acharya devo bhav, so your mother, your father, and your teacher are actually God in life, because they are the ones who shape your personality, your life, so that you can then help future generations. And that's exactly what the Prime Minister did when he wanted to acknowledge his own mother. When he said, I'm felicitating my teachers, let me also felicitate you, my first teacher, she said no.
Very interesting. So these are, of course, some of the life lessons that now Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been revealing. It's also heartening to see, I must mention here, that irrespective of political ideologies, opponents or friends, messages of condolences pouring in on the demise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother, Heeraba Modi. Social media is flooded with the statements coming in. And perhaps this is also significant in the manner in which all the netas have come together in this moment of sorrow and heartbreak for Prime Minister Modi and his family. Condolences messages since today morning, but imperative to mention the image that Prime Minister Modi shared at about 6:10 a.m. exact this morning. He shared the photograph of his mother holding a diya, representing the light that she spread, the light that she held onto herself and others, and then with a message that with a glorious century that's now at the feet of the God. And perhaps with those words, as we see as these last moments of last rites taking place, humble roots, extraordinary journey, no less. Because we see what Prime Minister Modi has become after the Chief Minister, Prime Minister's position, but behind him, the woman who let him explore. As Gaurav was also telling us, the fact that he was different from his other siblings. He was always curious, questioning, wanted to explore more, read more, go to Ramakrishna Mission. While his father did not understand and did not approve to a large extent, it was the mother who let him take those steps. For whether it was his eating habits, when he did not want to take salt and wanted to take only specific grains with regard to health and other measures, she let him do it. These are some of the opportunities she realized that he's exploring and perhaps will figure out his way of life, and for sure, he did. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the brothers and the sons of the family lighting a pyre to the mother Heeraba Modi. This time, Prime Minister Modi's visit to Gujarat was a send-off to the mother he respected and loved. Gaurav Sawant continues to be with us. Gaurav, as we are looking at these visuals, it's going to be perhaps for the next few hours he will be there. But as Saurav is also telling us that he saw Prime Minister Modi absolutely inconsolable, in tears, expectedly how a son would be, even if 100 years. But I cannot think about the fact that also we should mention about the fact that she lived a healthy life. 100 years, Gaurav, not many people get to live that long on this earth. And it's a moment to also feel and celebrate that. The fact that with her own tenacity, her dignity, her determination, her life, despite all difficulties, it was not a last few days of ill health. Until a few weeks ago, she was in the best of her health. She was voting. Of course, with age, the issues came. But till the last moment, she was on to herself. And that was perhaps symbolism of the kind of healthy life that she lived.
You're absolutely right. One, physically healthy, mentally. So there are three aspects to health: mental, physical, and spiritual. Again, something that Hiraba, the family, and the Prime Minister have also spoken of. Again, from a very early days, deeply religious, deeply spiritual. She used to sing bhajans a lot. That gives a lot of peace of mind and through the life. In fact, that incidentally went a long way in shaping Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personality also. The fact that he's a very devout Hindu, the fact that he's a practicing Hindu, travels to temples. You'd recall he'd spent some time in Kedarnath. He'd gone to the Ramakrishna mission, very inspired by the life and teachings of Swami Vivekanand. Then subsequently traveled to Kedarnath, stayed there for quite some time, and then came back to Gujarat, started politics there in a very big way, has been a Sangh Karyakarta. In all of this, his mother had a key role in shaping his spiritual thinking, his thinking otherwise, and also subsequently his actions as a political leader. So you're absolutely right. His mother played a very key role in his personality. But that, if you recall, has been the history in our country. But he's also been a very devoted son. He would go back to his mother every opportunity he got, met her on each of her birthday, on his birthday. There was that incident, you'd recall, that every birthday she would present, she would gift him, whether it is sawa rupya or 101 rupya, she would give him that money and he would save it, he would keep it. How did he spend all the money that he'd actually earned? Again, that's a very interesting story. As Chief Minister of Gujarat, whatever money he'd earned between 2002 and 2014, when he came to Delhi, he gave all of that money for the well-being of daughters of people who were employed in his staff at the Chief Minister's office. Again, a very significant messaging there. A lesson that he'd learned from his mother, who gave whatever money she had to help others. You'd recall 2013, there was the Kedarnath tragedy. In 2013, his mother had saved up some money, if I recall correctly, about 5,001 rupees. And, she gave away whatever her savings were to help people of Kedarnath, the tragedy, of the tragedy. So that's how Pooja, his personality was also shaped by her actions.
All right, Gaurav Sawant there telling us about some of the lessons and some of the memories that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has constantly mentioned. Gaurav, I'll give you just a short breather there as we have these visuals from the cremation site where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is presently with the other siblings of the family. A final send-off, born in 1922, no more in 2022. 100 years of Heeraba Modi living life the way she wanted to. Remember, she could have easily moved in to the Lok Kalyan Marg, earlier Racecourse Road, where the Prime Minister's residence is, but she chose to stay back in Gujarat. And with the simplicity, the familiar terrain that she had lived all her life, briefly visiting Prime Minister Modi, who showed her around in the premises and showed her about specifically the plants and the growth that has been done in the beautiful area. Saurav Aktania is also now joining me. So this is what happened today morning for our viewers who are joining us right now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived shortly after 7:30 a.m. in Gujarat, directly heading into the residence where his mother lived, where of course this was the last send-off that he was giving to his mother. Those interactions, those feeding, those moments will not be there. It will just be a memory now for the family. As a pallbearer with other members of the family, he lifted the mortal remains of the mother, taking them to the hearse vehicle, the Antim Yatra vehicle, the final journey as it is called in the Hindu faith, and then to the cremation ground. Paying floral tributes first, that brief personal moment between the Prime Minister and his mother, and then with his brothers as a pallbearer, he then headed to that vehicle. Of course, this was the heartbreaking moment to watch. Many people around, specifically the local residents who had seen the service of Hiraba Modi, were also in tears. Prime Minister Modi then entered into the Antim Yatra vehicle with some other family members, and with the cavalcade and the convoy, headed toward the cremation ground for the last rites. We saw the visuals of him with folded hands throughout that journey that he was in. Saurav Aktania now joins me. Saurav, is the Prime Minister still there inside the cremation ground? Have they left from there? What are you picking up about what next? And right outside the cremation site as well, must have been heartbreaking moments, and local residents remembering about the woman who was not in public sphere, but at her own right with what was available to her in mind and in person to help out. That public service also must find a mention today.
Well, absolutely, Pooja. Many of the relatives and friends of Modi's family from Vadnagar also arrived at the Hindu crematorium here at Sector 30 in Gandhinagar. And let me tell you, there were several of the BJP leaders were present. Let me tell you, some of the Congress leaders were also seen. Some of the names of which I can mention is that Shankar Singh Waghela, Vijay Rupani, Alpesh Thakur, Naroda Patia, MLA Payal Kukrani, and several of them were present over here. Purnesh Modi was here. Now all of them have left from the crematorium, Puja. Most importantly, the Mukhawni, which we say in the Hindu ritual, the Agni was given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the mortal remains of Heeraba. The final rites is still in process, and what we are being told by the sadhus who are present over here, that till the time the complete procedure is not over, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to stay back. All of them, all of the other leaders have been asked to leave. Gujarat CM Bhupendra Patel was first to leave from this particular crematorium, after which all the MLAs and some of the ministers who arrived here at the Hindu crematorium, they have also left. We spoke to many of them. They clearly said that how this is the blessing and the teachings of Hiraba only. That Prime Minister Narendra Modi have reached this particular place, and it was the dream of Hiraba only that she wanted that her son would be leading the world someday, and that dream has come through. And what a moment for actually Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He also saw witness when Hiraba actually completed 100 years of her age. A proper puja was performed in Ahmedabad, also in Vadnagar, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi was born and brought up. And now the final rites have taken place. It was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who gave Agni to the mortal remains of Hiraba. Many of the leaders and the ministers have left. It's the family right now which is present inside. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself over here stayed today morning, as soon as Prime Minister Narendra Modi learned about the demise of his mother Hiraba, he immediately left from Delhi and came to Ahmedabad. From Ahmedabad airport, he stayed, went to his brother's house, Pankaj Modi, in Raisan in Gandhinagar, where the family has shifted from Vadnagar to Gandhinagar. He was there for around 15 minutes, let me tell you, and the floral tributes which were given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the mortal remains of Hiraba. And when we saw on India Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi completely inconsolable. The entire family was in a state of shock, because this has been said as a sudden demise, because last couple of days when we saw the news which were coming out, that Hiraba was actually recovering when she was brought to UN Mehta Hospital. Let me tell you the timeline which we have on India Today, that she got a mild paralytic attack, after which the doctors rushed her to UN Mehta Hospital. Injection was given to her. She was recovering. She was actually getting treatment, and she was also the line of treatment, she was responding well to the line of treatment which was given to her. She got up on the bed. She took the oral diet as well. Yesterday, the health bulletin which came in, and also the information from the Gujarat CMO clearly indicated that she is recovering well. She is responding well to the treatment. In fact, they also said that she should get discharged in a day or two. So that is how till yesterday evening the entire information was coming out. But yesterday night, what we have been told by the hospital officials, that her health actually deteriorated and she was not feeling well at all. She was put on ventilator, and after which she breathed her last at around 3:30 a.m. Right now here at the Hindu crematorium center in Sector 30 of Gandhinagar, let me tell you, there was Shankar Singh Waghela, Vijay Rupani, Alpesh Thakur, Payal Kukrani, also Purnesh Modi. We saw some of them, and also we saw the businessman Gautam Adani. Just a few moments from now, let me tell you, Pooja, Gautam Adani just left from the Hindu crematorium, and right now inside are only the close family members of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There are some of the relatives from the nearby Gandhinagar, Ahmedabad, and also from Vadnagar. That is what we are being told, that till the time the entire rituals are not over, the entire process of the final rites are not over, we are being told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be staying back here. Now, what we also got a tweet from PMO Pooja, that there is a program schedule of Prime Minister Narendra Modi which he personally won't be attending, but he will be attending through video conferencing. So there is the schedule of which Prime Minister Narendra Modi is lined up, which he will be attending through VC. But right now, at the moment, Prime Minister Narendra Modi here at the Hindu crematorium, and where all the family members of the Modi family, also the close relatives of the family, are present inside. There are some of the people who are still living from here, from the crematorium, which here in the visuals you can see. We also saw Narhari Amin and some of the very old BJP leaders who have seen the growth of BJP. They know Prime Minister Narendra Modi since very beginning. Only they were allowed over here. Now we see a very senior sadhu coming right now. Here in the visuals you can see, I asked my camera person Sajid Alam to take you ahead. A very senior priest at the moment who has just arrived, and he will be going inside. And these are the sadhus who are coming over here at the Hindu crematorium, where the final rites are actually taking place. So right now, at the moment, only Prime Minister Narendra Modi's close family members who are present. The sources are clearly telling us that till the time the entire rituals are not over, the final rites doesn't take place, the process does not get over, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to stay over here. He is going to stay back. You know, in the Hindu rituals, once the final rites take place, the ashes are actually taken and those ashes are submerged into the river. So I guess Prime Minister Narendra Modi will stay back. He is going to take those ashes and then he will be leaving from here. So this is what proper Hindu rituals are being followed at the moment. What we saw earlier as well, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his shoulder brought out the mortal remains of Heeraba. Along with him were the brothers of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They walk along a stretch of over 500 meters, after which the mortal remains was kept inside the mortal remains vehicle. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself sat inside that particular vehicle along with his brother, and now they reached over here. The final rites have already started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself giving the Agni to the mortal remains of Hiraba. Many of the leaders have left, but what we have been told that till the time the entire rituals are not over, the family members and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi are going to stay back here at Sector 30 Hindu crematorium.
All right, Saurav, I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now. We're getting all the details of the demise of the Prime Minister's mother. The Prime Minister's mother, Heeraba Modi, has now been laid to rest. The Prime Minister shared a special bond with his mother. Here's a look at how Heeraba inspired a young Prime Minister and left an indelible impact on him.
Prime Minister Modi's mother, Heeraba, is no more. At the age of 100, Heeraba has passed away. Heeraba's life was an epitome of selfless love of a mother sacrificing so much for her family, going above and beyond to ensure her children could accomplish their dreams. She always set an example as the mother of the Prime Minister, contributing in every small way she could to Indian society. Only recently during the Gujarat elections, Heeraba was seen casting her vote at a polling station.
Right now, the Prime Minister, in fact, leaving the crematorium where the final rites of his mother, Hiraba Modi, just took place. These are pictures of the Prime Minister, in fact, leaving the crematorium. We'll go across to Saurabh and a battery of reporters tracking that big story in a few moments from now. But these are pictures of the Prime Minister along with the other family members leaving the crematorium right now. In fact, the last rites are performed just a few moments ago. These are pictures of the Prime Minister leaving the crematorium. The last rites were done in Gandhinagar at a... Saurabh has more details on that story and is joining us right away. Saurabh, what more can you tell us? The last rites have been done as far as the other rituals are concerned. What next?
Well, Pooja, the final rites are now over. In the visuals, clearly you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the screens of India Today. Clearly, till the time the final rites did not get over, Prime Minister Narendra Modi stayed back, and in fact, all of the ministers and the leaders left from the place. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi stayed back till the time final rites did not get over, and now the rituals are over. And here in the visuals, you can clearly see Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaving the Hindu crematorium over here, and rest of the people along with Prime Minister Modi, the family members also visible clearly leaving this place. And it all has happened very quickly. Let me tell you, Pooja, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother Hiraba died at around 3:30 a.m. this morning. Later on, after 1 hour, her mortal remains were brought to the Pankaj Modi's residence in Gandhinagar, Raisen, after which when Prime Minister Narendra Modi learned about the health conditions of his mother, he immediately left from Delhi. He reached Ahmedabad, and here you can see the kiosk over here. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in
a very sad day, a state of shock for the entire family, especially Prime Minister Narendra Modi was so very close to that Prime Minister Narendra Modi with folded hands. Pooja. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the visuals over here, you can clearly see that with folded hands, Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaving this particular Hindu crematorium, and now the entire convoy has went ahead, and visibly how emotional right now Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because it was the blessing and the teaching from her mother, the dream of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother to see her son. So at this particular place, I'm just trying to get that where is the family of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Pooja will just go.
Pooja will just go ahead and try to get the visuals from inside, and there are several of the family members and some of the people from Vadnagar who were present over here. So we are right now going inside the Hindu crematorium where the final rites actually took place.
Just to let you know, this is Sneha, this side, not Pooja at the moment. We're getting all the details from Gandhinagar, where the last rites of Prime Minister's mother has just taken place. This is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother, Hiraba Modi, who's passed away at the age of 100. Saurabh, in fact, you were telling us even earlier that the family, in a way, is shocked because up until yesterday, even the hospital, the statements that they put out regarding her medical condition did say that she continues to be stable in that sense, isn't it? What more details can you share about her last moments in that sense? What really happened? We'll just go back to Saurabh Vakhtania in a moment from now, but these are in fact pictures from a few moments ago. In fact, when the last rites of Heeraba Modi, the mother of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has just taken place. It's been a private ceremony with the leaders of the BJP essentially being out and just close friends and family members being present at the crematorium where the last rites just took place. This in Gandhinagar. The Prime Minister seen earlier today carrying the mortal remains of his mother. Heeraba Modi's last rites performed at a crematorium in Gandhinagar. Heeraba Modi breathed her last at a hospital in Ahmedabad where she was receiving treatment. She had been actually admitted on Wednesday after her health condition worsened. She passed away at the UN Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Center in Ahmedabad city. Her last rites have just been performed at Gandhinagar. This is the crematorium at Sector 30 in Gandhinagar. The same hospital announced the news of her demise. In fact, she breathed her last at around 3:30 a.m. The Prime Minister, in fact, said, "A glorious century rests at the feet of God. In Ma, I have always felt that Trinity which contains the journey of an ascetic, the symbol of a selfless Karam Yogi and a life committed to values." He also said that, and I quote, "When I met her on her 100th birthday, she said one thing that I will always remember: work with intelligence, live life with purity," unquote. A series of reactions have been pouring in on the unfortunate demise of the Prime Minister's mother. Listen in.
एक सादगी भरा जीवन उन्होंने बिताया और कर्तव्य हमेशा ईमानदारी से निभाते रहो, ऐसी सीख उनकी थी। ये एक मिसाल है, एक आदर्श है ये देश को और दुनिया को। और आज वो हमारे बीच नहीं रही है, ये देशवासियों के लिए बहुत ही दुखद है। हमारे देश का ये बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है। महाराष्ट्र की ओर से मैं उनको भावपूर्ण श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूँ।
Well, it's a very sad news. Mother passing away of Narendra Modi ji. It's a very sad news. Loss of mother cannot be made up. I and all our family want to convey to him that we join him in this grief, which is very sad, a very big loss. May God give him the courage to face this loss. And may his mother have a resting place, a soul in the heaven.
सम्मान पूरी दुनिया के अंदर ले जाने का काम किया है। माँ की छाप उनके अंदर स्पष्ट रूप से दिखती है कि जितने कष्टों में, जितने अभावों में माँ ने बच्चों को, प्रधानमंत्री जी को भी पहला संस्कार, पहला अगर शिक्षा देने का काम किसी ने किया तो उन्होंने ही किया। तो उनका जाना हम सभी के लिए, संपूर्ण भारतवासियों के लिए एक दुखद क्षण है। प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ साथ मैं इस दुखद क्षण पर परमपिता परमेश्वर से प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि पुण्य आत्मा को अपने श्री चरणों में स्थान दे तथा उनके सभी आत्मीजनों को इस दुख को सहन करने की शक्ति प्रदान करें। ओम शांति, ओम शांति, ओम शांति।
हीराबा रियली माँ थी। इनके हिसाब से ये नरेंद्र भाई है, ये सोम भाई है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता था। हम सबको एक ही साथ ट्रीट करती थी। कभी भी कोई काम हो तो जब मिलने जाते तब पहले पूछते खाना खाया नहीं खाया। यही रियल माता थी। नरेंद्र भाई प्रधानमंत्री है वो नहीं, लेकिन एक पुत्र है। इस हिसाब से आज हीराबा का दुखद समाचार सुना। अभी हम गए थे वहीं स्मशान में और वो इसका आत्मा को मोक्ष मिल गया। इनकी जो बात थी कि सबको साथ में लेकर चलिए, समाज की सेवा करिए, देश की सेवा करिए, ये इनके शब्द होते थे परमानेंटली। मतलब हीराबा हीराबा थी, वो आउटस्टैंडिंग पर्सनालिटी जिसको हम गरीब परिवार से बनकर परिवार को संभाल कर आगे देश में अपने पुत्र को प्रधानमंत्री पद पर पहुंचा रहा, वो बड़ी बात है।
उनका जीवन संघर्ष में रहा, हम जानते हैं, और एक ऐसे पुत्र को जन्म दिया जिसने अपनी पार्टी के लिए, जिस व्यक्ति ने अपने पार्टी के लिए हमेशा संघर्ष किया, कष्ट किया। फिर वही नरेंद्र मोदी देश के प्रधानमंत्री भी बन गए, देश का नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं। ऐसे पुत्र को जन्म देकर हीरा बहन ने इस समाज पे और देश पे एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान तो उनका रहा।
Getting all the details of the Prime Minister's mother who passed away in the wee hours at 3:30 a.m. Her last rites have been performed with the entire family in full attendance. It's been a private ceremony with the Prime Minister and his immediate family members at the crematorium. The Prime Minister, in fact, we've been told, has just left the crematorium in Sector 30 in Gandhinagar, where the last rites of Hiraba Modi was performed. Saurav Vakhtania continues to be with us to get us more details. Saurav, as far as the rituals are concerned, the final rites have been performed, the funeral has been performed. Give us an idea about what next as per the Hindu rituals, what is expected today? We'll just try and connect with Saurav in a moment from now. We're getting in all the details of Hiraba Modi, who passed away in the wee hours at 3:30 a.m. This morning. In fact, the Prime Minister's mother had recently been keeping unwell. In fact, she was admitted to a hospital on Wednesday. The family, in fact, has indicated that the death has come as a bit of a shock there, given that the sense they got from the hospital was that she was doing okay and that she was stable. In fact, medical bulletins to this effect were put out by the hospital in question. The same hospital, UN Mehta Heart Hospital, in fact, put out a bulletin again at 3:39 a.m. this morning, saying that Smriti Heeraba Modi passed away, Srimati Heeraba Modi passed away on the 30th of December at 3:39 a.m. is what the hospital said in a short medical bulletin that they put out. The Prime Minister also then put out a heartfelt tweet early this morning saying, and I quote, "A glorious century rests at the feet of God. In Ma, I have always felt that trinity that contains the journey of an ascetic, the symbol of a selfless karm yogi and a life committed to values." Hiraba Modi used to live with the Prime Minister's younger brother Pankaj Modi at the Raisen village near Gandhinagar. The Prime Minister would regularly, in fact, visit Raisen and spend time with his mother during many of his visits in Gujarat. Condolences have been pouring in. In fact, many, including those from the Congress and the other opposition parties, have also expressed their grief and extended their condolences to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his family members. Saurav continues to be with us. Saurav, I was asking you, the Prime Minister has left the crematorium a few moments ago. In fact, we put out the pictures of the same as well. What next as far as the rituals are concerned?
So, Sneha, let me tell you that We just spoke to Raman Bora, who was present inside when the final rituals were taking place, and he clearly told us that Gujarat CM and other of the ministers and the leaders left the crematorium, but Prime Minister Narendra Modi's entire family said that till the time the rituals doesn't get over, they will be staying back, and once the rituals got over, they are now out from the crematorium. There are a few people right now inside. There are family members who have left. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has left. We have been told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to go to Raj Bhavan. He is going to stay back for some time. But the rituals are over. Proper Hindu rituals were performed that I witnessed at Pankaj Modi's residence as well, where Heeraba's mortal remains were kept, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached over there. 15 minutes proper rituals were performed. Let me tell you, floral tributes were given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He bowed down, touching the feet of Hiraba. Later on, all the brothers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading from the one, they carried the mortal remains on the shoulder, and then they actually walked around for over 500 meters, and after which the mortal remains were kept on the ground, which is the Hindu rituals. Actually, let me tell you, proper rituals were performed. The mortal remains were turned around, and after which another rituals were performed, and later that mortal remains were kept in the Antim Yatra vehicle, and in that particular vehicle, Prime Minister Narendra Modi left his convoy back. He sat in that particular vehicle. Along with him were the brothers, and then they reached at this particular place. It's around 30 minutes drive. There was the entire convoy which was moving ahead. That was kept a very low profile. I did not see the top BJP leaders or the cabinet ministers. It were the close people from Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Let me tell you, I saw Sankar Singh Waghela, Vijay Rupani, Alpesh Thakur, Payal Kukrani, Purnesh Modi, Gujarat Home Minister Harsh Sanghvi was there from very beginning. In fact, Gujarat CM Bhupendra Patel actually received Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Ahmedabad airport. They reached over here. The Antim Muakni, which we said that the Agni was given by the senior brother and Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the mortal remains of Hiraba, after which the rituals were performed one after the other. The VIP dignitaries all started to leave. We also saw Gautam Adani over here, Sneha. They all left, and now after half an hour after all of them left, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the entire Modi family have left from this Hindu crematorium. We have been told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi have straight headed to Raj Bhavan, where he'll be staying back, and there is event which is going to happen, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi won't be going there. It was a clear tweet from the PMO, and he will be attending that particular event, a very important development work. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be attending that particular important development work event through VC.
Okay, through video conferencing is how the Prime Minister is going to be attending that event. In fact, the Prime Minister's office did put out that tweet a while ago saying that he will be joining the scheduled programs in West Bengal via video conferencing. These programs include the launch of key connectivity related projects and the meeting of the National Ganga Council, is what has been said by the Prime Minister's office. Saurabh continues to be with us. Saurabh, in fact, the Prime Minister also, and this is how we also want to remember Hiraba Modi. So often, each time he visited Gujarat, many of these visits which you have covered, always involved a visit to his brother Pankaj's house, where his mother stayed with the younger brother of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the time that both of them spent together, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, Sneha. Who can forget those visuals which we used to get when Prime Minister Narendra Modi would meet his mother Heeraba? Those visuals used to come from inside house of Pankaj Bhai Modi's house in Raisen, Gandhinagar. Remember, after leaving Vadnagar, the family shifted to Vadnagar, and whenever Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Gujarat, he would make sure that he meets his mother Hiraba. Very importantly, Sneha, let me tell you one important thing, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi loves to have food from Hiraba, which she prepares by herself. Even very lately, even this year, year, when her health conditions were not so good, Hiraba made sure that she prepares something with help of the family members. She prepares something for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and what quality time they both used to spend together. The bonding of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with his mother Hiraba, and that reflects the amount of hard work, the hardship which Hiraba has gone through. I remember when I went to Vardnagar, Sneha, that I spoke to Prahlad Modi, the relatives, the neighbors of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Hiraba used to do household work. Let me tell you, the family did not even have money for a single time meal. They went through such a difficult time. Prime Minister Narendra Modi used to assist them. Heeraba was illiterate, but she made sure that all...
Just come back to you. In fact, Robert Vadra is also now joining us. Thank you for your time. How do you respond to the unfortunate news that we broke in early this morning today of the Prime Minister's mother's demise, Mr. Vadra?
My sincere condolences to the Prime Minister for the loss of his mother, Hiraba, and obviously to the entire family, for their loss. I have regularly seen the Prime Minister spend time with his mother, and I think, in difficult times or every time that he goes there, no matter what the age is, the security and surety that you receive from your mother, especially, and overall the blessings are so significant, and I can only feel his loss and will feel, for whatever how he feels further, because I have lost my loved ones and I have a very close relation with my mother, and I understand the Prime Minister's loss. As I said, my condolences is with him and his family, and I hope soul rests in peace, and they have the strength to relate to this, and we all support the Prime Minister at this time, this difficult time.
Mr. Robert Vadra, I'm going to thank you for the moment, for joining us, sharing your views with us, and also, of course, offering your condolences to the Prime Minister and his family members at this hour of grief. A lot of leaders from the opposition, from the ruling BJP, have come out and spoken about the kind of bond the Prime Minister shared with his mother. Many have said that she actually, symbolized a set of values that very often was seen in the Prime Minister: humility, sacrifice, and unflinching commitment. Robert Vadra, in fact, you also spoke about the bond between you and your mother, and that's how you can sense the kind of grief the Prime Minister and his family members are going through right now. Very often we saw, this is from a Prime Minister who's been otherwise very private in his life, but each time he visited Gujarat, he made it a point to meet his mother, spend time with her. A lot of reporters have been saying that these were the true moments that he really cherished.
I totally understand, and I can say it out of my own experience, because unfortunately we had a lot of losses in our family as well. My sister, my brother, and my father at very close times, and I had to take care of my mother. But mainly, I think with my mother's been a very big support to me, and I understand that, and I saw how the Prime Minister used to go and spend his time with Hiraba, and I would see that his mother would, always, bless him, and, he would feed her, and it was a fantastic relationship, and, I know that it's irreparable, and you can't compare this to any other relationship, and I know that his loss, he will be feeling quite a lot of pain, and I do wish him strength and the best wishes from here on, and the country is here to support him.
Robert Vadra, I'm going to thank you for the moment, for joining us. So you heard from Robert Vadra, who's also spoken about the fact that he is offering his condolences to the Prime Minister and his family members at this time. Remember, Prime Minister's mother, Hiraba Modi, lived a full life. In fact, this is a moment, I believe, to celebrate the life of Hiraba Modi, the late mother of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A series of reactions have been coming in. Let's go straight to them first.
अपनी पार्टी की ओर से, छत्तीसगढ़ वासियों की ओर से विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं उस माँ के प्रति जो विनम्र सादगी की प्रतिमूर्ति थी, जिन्होंने जीवन भर सादगी के साथ जीवन जिया। ऐसी माँ की अंतिम यात्रा में मोदी जी गए हुए हैं। मैं अपनी ओर से श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं।
Today was a private ceremony with only close family members being present. The last rites have been performed at Sector 30 crematorium in Gandhinagar. Prime Minister's brothers and other leaders also paid tributes to Heeraba Modi, the mother of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She was admitted to Ahmedabad's UN Mehta Hospital on Wednesday after her health condition worsened. She's been cremated in Gandhinagar in Gujarat. In fact, the hospital had put out a statement saying that her condition was stable. However, at about 3:39 a.m. this morning, the hospital informed that she had passed away. The Prime Minister also, in fact, put out a couple of tweets talking about the loss of his mother. Today, the Prime Minister has paid respects to his mother, Heeraba Modi, at their residence in Gandhinagar at a crematorium in Sector 30. She was laid to rest. As Heeraba's final journey began today, the Prime Minister turned pallbearer and was seen, in fact, carrying her mortal remains on his shoulders. She passed away at the age of 100. Several leaders have joined in expressing condolences on the demise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother. The Prime Minister today penned an emotional note saying glorious century rests at the feet of God. I have always felt that Trinity in Ma is what he wrote. She was a symbol of selfless karma yogi is what the Prime Minister said about his late mother. Her life was committed to values. Hiraba Modi's last rites have been performed in Gandhinagar, where close families along with the Prime Minister attended the rituals. This is in Sector 30 in Gandhinagar's cremation ground. The Prime Minister and other family members close to Hiraba were at the funeral. Some BJP functionaries were present but were asked, in fact, not to gather at the scene and give the family space. In that sense, Saurabh, this was a rather private sort of ceremony that was performed. Private in terms of just very close family members being present, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. Only the close family members, some of the relatives from Gandhinagar and the very senior BJP leaders from Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar were present. I must tell you, Sneha, none of the people outside Ahmedabad or Gandhinagar were present over here. In fact, let me tell you, BJP workers who were clearly said by the BJP that nobody should even come at the site. There was no crowding, completely low profile which was kept at this particular entire rituals which took place. It took around 1.5 hours for the entire process to get over. Hiraba actually breathed her last at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Most importantly, Sneha, that the sudden death, basically, let me tell you, what happened is that for the past couple of days, since the time Hiraba is admitted to UN Mehta Hospital, the time and again which we got update from inside clearly stated that she is well, she is responding well to the treatment which is given to her. She is going to recover very soon, and very soon she might also get discharged in a day or two. Yesterday, the second health bulletin which came, Sneha, it was a one-line statement from the hospital clearly saying that Hiraba is recovering. But what we know from our sources, we are not running any speculations, but clearly the sources told us that yesterday late night her health condition actually deteriorated. She was put on ventilator 2 days back when she was brought to UN Mehta Hospital. Sneha, let me tell you that she suffered a paralytic attack. Hiraba, who has been fit so long in her entire life, she never seen hospital, but 2 days back in the morning at Pankaj Modi's resident in Gandhinagar, Raisen, she suffered a mild paralytic attack. Doctors immediately told that she needs to be given an injection and rushed to a bigger hospital. And this is when the best hospital, the UN cardiology hospital, that's the UN Mehta Hospital, Hiraba was shifted over there. The treatment had started. Initially, Gujarat CM and the health minister reached over there. The update which we got inside the hospital were clear that she was responding well. In fact, she sat on the bed. She was also taking the oral diet. But certainly yesterday late night her health condition actually deteriorated. And let me tell you, Prime Minister Narendra Modi 2 days back had come to Ahmedabad, cutting down all his entire schedule. He reached to meet Hiraba. He was inside the hospital for around 1.5 hours, Sneha. When he was inside, let me tell you, nobody else was present. In fact, he met one-on-one with his mother. He was inside for a very long time. In fact, he also met the treating doctors. The treating doctors told him that what problem Hiraba is actually facing, what is the line of treatment, how soon she will actually get discharged, how soon she will actually get recovered. So entire thing, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was alone, one-on-one present with the treating doctors. Later he met his family members and the other ministers and BJP leaders who were present in the other building. And after 1.5 hours, Prime Minister Narendra Modi left. Initially it was been said, Sneha, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be staying back in Ahmedabad for a couple of days. But let me tell you, later on he left. And Hiraba was actually recovering. We also got a statement yesterday from Gujarat CMO saying that Hiraba is responding well to the treatment. She has started oral diet and the line of treatment which is given to Hiraba is she is actually responding well to the line of treatment as well. But suddenly yesterday late night, this sudden state of shock and the information which came in, and let me tell you, immediately Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached Ahmedabad. Bhupendra Patel, Gujarat CM, was there to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Along with him, he sat in the same car and reached Raisen in Gandhinagar, where Gujarat Home Minister Harsh Sanghvi was already present. Most importantly, Sneha, proper Hindu rituals were performed. I personally, when I was present over there, I saw that how the rituals were actually performed. The mortal remains of Hiraba were taken out by all the brothers on their shoulders. They walked along for 500 meters from their home to the outside road, I clearly saw that how the mortal remains were taken on the shoulders. They walked around 500 meters. Then again, before keeping the mortal remains in the vehicle, the body was kept down. A proper another rituals were performed. The mortal remains were turned around. That is what the Hindu rituals, the way it is performed. Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself and his brother performed those rituals. Proper sadhus and pandits were also present over there. Then Prime Minister Narendra Modi actually had left his entire convoy and security behind. This is big thing, leaving across all the protocols behind, leaving all the security personnel behind. Prime Minister Narendra Modi sat in that vehicle along with the mortal remains of Hiraba. Along with him, there were brothers, and after traveling around half an hour, they reached over here at Sector 30 in Gandhinagar. And when I spoke to Raman Vora as well, Sneha, let me tell you, Raman Vora clearly said that the family decided that they will not leave the crematorium until and unless the entire procedure of the rituals are not over. We saw that Gujarat CM, other ministers and the MLAs and the leaders started to leave the crematorium, but it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's family and himself who were present inside the crematorium. And once after over 1.5 hours, when the rituals got over, they came out and now all are out. We have been told that few selected members from the family and close relatives are right now present inside the crematorium, and they are also coming out slowly.
All right. And as far as this work is concerned, Saurabh, you did tell us that the Prime Minister's office is already informed that the Prime Minister, of course, was supposed to be in Bengal today. But that is going to go on, albeit through video conferencing, isn't it? We'll connect with Saurav in a moment from now, but Saurav, of course, was telling us about the last rites of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother, Heeraba Modi, that has just been conducted a few moments ago. In fact, the Prime Minister, along with the family members, have left the crematorium at Sector 30 in Gandhinagar. These are pictures from a while ago, where the Prime Minister turned pallbearer, carrying the mortal remains of his mother to the crematorium in Sector 30 in Gandhinagar, where the last rites were then performed. Close friends, family members were present. This was a private ceremony, given that a word had gone out that the family would want its space. Only very, very senior leaders of the BJP were present. The Prime Minister, along with his brothers, carried out the last rites of their mother, Heeraba Modi, who just recently turned 100. In fact, she was doing well until Wednesday earlier this week.
देहांत हुआ, ये समाचार सुन के हमको बहुत बड़ा दुख हुआ और 100 साल जीने के बाद किसी के भी वो यानी किसी हॉस्पिटल नहीं गए, कहीं भी नहीं, शांति के साथ अपना उन्होंने स्वर्गवास उनका हुआ और ये बहुत दुर्दैवी घटना है। और इस दुख के घड़ी में मोदी जी के इस घड़ी में हम साथ हैं और इस दुख को सहन करने की शक्ति भगवान उनको दे और हम सभी हृदयपूर्वक श्रद्धांजलि उस माता को अर्पित करते हैं।
Heard from Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge expresses his condolences, offering his condolences to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his family members at this hour of grief. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother, Heeraba Modi, passed away at the age of 100. The Prime Minister was, in fact, today scheduled to inaugurate various development projects in West Bengal, is now in Ahmedabad, and the Prime Minister's office has informed that he will be doing many of these events virtually. This is what the plan essentially is. Heeraba's Modi's last rites are performed at a crematorium in Gandhinagar. She breathed her last at an Ahmedabad hospital where she had been admitted on Wednesday. On your screen, these are live pictures, in fact, coming in from Gandhinagar. Saurabh continues to be with us. Saurabh, give us a sense of where the Prime Minister, in fact, is right now and what next as far as the rituals are concerned.
Pankaj bhai, Soma. Sneha, just now the brothers of Prime Minister Narendra Modi have left from this Hindu crematorium, and clearly Pralad Modi, Pankaj bhai Modi and Soma bhai Modi, all of them have left from the crematorium. We'll try to get some words from the people who are coming out.
बहुत बड़ी बात है और ये पूरे देश को आज पूरा देश देख रहा है।
जुगल बस सादगी की बात बार बार हो रही है, अच्छे जीवन की बात हो रही है। गुजराती में भी जो कहावत वो कहते थे कि शुद्धि से जीवन जियो और बुद्धि से काम करो, ये प्रेरणा लेकर के ही क्या सब लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हो? कैसे आप देख रहे हैं संवेदना के दौर?
ये बहुत बड़ी मिसाल है कि आप देखिए कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री आज इतने बड़े ओहदे पे होने के बावजूद भी जिस तरह उनकी माताजी से जो कनेक्टिविटी था, तो वो हर बार जब भी गुजरात आते थे उनके माताजी से मिलने जाते थे। हम लोगों ने सबने देखा है आप लोगों के टीवी के माध्यम से, और इतना बड़ा आदमी बन जाने के बाद, क्योंकि पूरे देश नहीं दुनिया के अंदर उनका जो नाम है नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, और वो सादगी से उनके जब उनकी माताजी जो थी हीराबा, जो हमारे बीच नहीं है, पर वो 16 के अंदर आप लोगों को संज्ञान में होगा कि उस टाइम जब नोटबंदी डिमोनेटाइज हुआ था, फिर भी वो उन्होंने एक मिसाल हीराबा ने खड़ी की थी कि वो खुद लाइन में खड़ी होके, बैंक की लाइन में खड़ी होके पैसे निकालने के लिए खड़े रहे थे। और दूसरा भी आपने देखा होगा कि ये वैश्विक महामारी जो चल रही है कोविड की, उसके दौरान भी उन्होंने टीका लगाने के लिए भी उन्होंने खुद लाइन में खड़े होके टीका लगाने के लिए, क्योंकि कई लोग ऑपोजिशन बता रहे थे कि भी टीका लगाने से कई लोग को कुछ नुकसान हो जाएगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम हो जाए, फिर भी वो आगे आके देश के लिए उन्होंने टीका लगाया था। और हाल ही में गुजरात का इलेक्शन हुआ, उसमें भी आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि वो खुद मतदान करने के लिए खुद चल के गए थे। तो इतनी बड़ी मिसाल त्याग की जो मूर्ति है, उनका जो उनके लड़के हमारे जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी है, वो भी नक्शे कदम पे वही चलते हैं कि भाई आज की तारीख में इतना बड़े देखिए हमारे बीच में हीराबा नहीं रहे, फिर भी देश के लिए समर्पित है। इसीलिए आज वो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस से हर एक जगह पे वो कम्युनिकेट करेंगे।
सर, आज राजभवन में क्या कार्यक्रम है, कब तक रुकेंगे, कुछ आपको अंदाजा है पीएम का आगे का शेड्यूल?
वैसे तो मुझे कुछ उनका आइडिया नहीं है, पर अभी संज्ञान में आएगा कि क्या।
We're getting all the details and all reactions that have been coming in as far as the demise of the Prime Minister's mother is concerned. Hiraba Modi passed away earlier today. The hospital where she was being treated, in fact, put out a medical bulletin saying that she passed at 3:39 a.m. this morning. The last rites of the Prime Minister's mother has been performed. Only close family members, along with the Prime Minister, were at the crematorium in Sector 30 in Gandhinagar, where the last rites of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mother was performed. Hiraba Modi passed away at the age of 100. She was in fact receiving treatment at the UN Mehta Institute of Cardiology and Research Center in Ahmedabad. She breathed her last in the hospital. The Prime Minister, in fact, was scheduled to attend a slew of programs in Kolkata today. The Prime Minister's office has informed that he will be doing so via video conferencing. We'll continue to keep a very close eye on all of these developments from Gandhinagar in Gujarat. For the moment, it's time for a quick commercial break here. News continues on the other side.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
You are watching India Today.
Hi there, very good morning. You're watching India Today TV. I'm Sneha. A quick check of the top stories in this edition. Prime Minister's mother, Heeraba Modi, passes away at the age of 100. In Ahmedabad, Prime Minister Modi turns pallbearer, conducts private last rites for a mother. Hours after lighting mother's funeral pyre, the Prime Minister is back to work to inaugurate projects worth 7,800 crores in Bengal via video conferencing. Football legend Pele passes away at the age of 82 after a prolonged battle with colon cancer. World mourns the death of peerless Pele. Cricketer Rishabh Pant meets with an accident in Roorkee after his car rams into a divider. Car completely charred. Pant hurt but out of danger. With eyes on 2023, Amit Shah on a two-day visit to Karnataka. Shah to inaugurate slew of projects. Poll preparedness review on agenda. India's star wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant's car met with an accident while returning home from Delhi on the Narsan border of Roorkee near Hamadpur Jal. Well, after getting the information, the police reached the spot. The fire was brought under control. Pant was driving the car himself. He dozed off while driving the car, due to which the car hit the divider and the accident happened. He came out by breaking the windscreen. He suffered Head injuries is what we've been given to understand. There is a possibility of a fracture in the right leg. Pant was first admitted to Roorkee's Saksham Hospital. The DGP of Uttarakhand, Ashok Kumar, said he has been shifted to Max Hospital in Dehradun for further treatment. Meanwhile, further investigation is underway. Pant was travelling to Roorkee. Right now, the hospital says that he's out of danger. In fact, we have these pictures of Rishabh Pant right now. The car was completely charred after this accident. We're talking about Rishabh Pant, India's star wicketkeeper who's been hurt. His car met with an accident while returning home from Delhi on the Narsan border of Roorkee.
बेसिकली सुबह 5:30 बजे हुई है। ये दिल्ली से रुड़की आ रहे थे और हम खुद ही चला रहे थे और इनको झपकी आ गई तो उससे डिवाइडर से टकराई इनकी गाड़ी और उसके बाद विंडस्क्रीन तोड़ के या तो इन्होंने तोड़ के बाहर आए हैं। तो चोटें हैं इनको कुछ थोड़ी बहुत हेड पे भी हैं, परंतु एक पैर का दाहिने पैर का कोई लिगामेंट इंजरी भी बता रहे। तो शिफ्टेड टू मैक्स देहरादून, आने यहाँ पे पहुंचने वाले होने चाहिए। हाँ, देहरादून की एम्बुलेंस से देहरादून मैक्स हॉस्पिटल की तरफ पहुंच रहे हैं।
बहुत अच्छे तरीके से फर्स्ट एड दी, फिर उनके एक्सरे कराए गए। जो उनको चोटें थी वो मेनली है 2-3 लेसेड वुंड्स हैं जो कि फोर हेड पे है, उनको यहाँ पे एक लेफ्ट आई के ऊपर है और कोई हेड इंजरी का ऐसा कोई साइन सिम्टम बाद में नहीं निकला उनको। राइट नी में एक्सरे में हड्डी में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं निकली उनको जो मैंने एग्जामिन किया, हालांकि पेन काफ़ी था उनको, उन्होंने मुझे अच्छे से एग्जामिन नहीं करने दिया तो उसमें लिगामेंटल प्रॉब्लम निकले है उनको। अब तो स्टेबल थे वो, ऐसी कोई खतरे वाली बात नहीं थी।
सुबह की बात है।
Getting these pictures, in fact, this is an India Today exclusive of Rishabh Pant's car that caught fire after it met with an accident.
यहाँ गाड़ी में आग लग चुकी है।
Visuals of the car completely charred. These are pictures first on India Today. Rishabh Pant involved in that car crash. He's out of danger is what we know. However, his car was left completely charred, as you can see in these pictures clearly.
ये बंदा बेचारा, देखो भाई यहाँ गाड़ी में आग लग चुकी है। ये बंदा बेचारा, देखो एक्सीडेंट हो गया सुबह की बात है। ये देखो भाई यहाँ गाड़ी में आग लग चुकी है। ये बंदा बेचारा, देखो भाई यहाँ गाड़ी में आग लग चुकी है। ये बंदा बेचारा, देखो एक्सीडेंट हो गया सुबह की बात है। ये देखो भाई यहाँ गाड़ी में आग लग चुकी है।
These are pictures from the accident spot in Roorkee, and it appears that this video has been made by one of the onlookers there, who's in fact describing this entire incident, talking about the fact that the car has in fact went up in fire essentially. Rishabh Pant, to tell our viewers, is stable at this point in time, is what we've been given to understand. He's hospitalized. This was a serious car accident that saw in fact his car go up in flames, as is evident from these pictures. He suffered a head injury, and what we also know is that there is a possibility of a fracture in his right leg. Pant has been admitted to Roorkee's Saksham Hospital. DGP of Uttarakhand, Ashok Kumar, said he has been shifted to Max Hospital in Dehradun for further treatment. Further investigation is underway. Shishir, in fact, is now joining us. Sushil, I beg your pardon, is now joining us. Sushil, I'm being told, helped Rishabh Pant at that point in time when his car went up in flames. Sushil, what more can you tell us about what happened? क्या देखा आपने? पूरी घटना के बारे में हमें बताइए।
मैडम, मैं सुशील कुमार हरियाणा रोडवेज पानीपत डिपो में एज ए ड्राइवर हूँ।
जो कि हमारी बस सुबह 4:25 पे हरिद्वार से चली थी और रुड़की के होते हुए आ रही थी, तो गुरुकुल दर्शन से पहले आध किलोमीटर पहले जैसे ही मैंने देखा कि आगे से एक गाड़ी बहुत ही स्पीड में मतलब स्पीड में थी, वो असंतुलित होकर दिल्ली साइड से आ रही थी, डिवाइडर का टकरा के और रोंग साइड में जो दिल्ली साइड में रोड जाता है उस पे आकर मैंने देखा, मैंने मेरी रोडवेज में आगे एक लेडीज बैठी हुई थी, वो चिल्लाने लगी बचाओ बचाओ बचाओ। मैंने उसको सेकंड लाइन से फर्स्ट लाइन में अपनी गाड़ी को डाला और वो गाड़ी सेकंड लाइन में चली गई डिवाइडर से टकराती हुई, और मैंने तुरंत गाड़ी के जोरदार ब्रेक लगाए, ड्राइवर साइड से कूद के भाग गया। मैंने देखा गाड़ी में पिछली साइड में थोड़ी थोड़ी चिंगारी होती, मैंने आवाज लगाई, इतने मेरे कनेक्टर आ गया, हमने दोनों ने पकड़ के उसको खींचा, बाहर गिर के डिवाइडर की साइड में लाई, इतने थोड़ी थोड़ी आग जल लगी। इतने 3 यात्री थी हरियाणा के निकल के, उन्होंने हेल्प करी, करो करो भाई, उसके तन पे कपड़े थे, उसको कपड़े डाल ले। फिर हम जोर जोर से चिल्लाने लगे साइड में, किसी ट्रैफिक ने कोई हेल्प नहीं करी हमारी। फिर सबसे पहले मैंने 5:24 पे पुलिस को फोन किया, नेशनल हाईवे ने हमारी कोई हेल्प नहीं की, नेशनल हाईवे का बोर्ड लगा था, मैंने 10:33 पे फोन किया, कोई रिस्पांस नहीं। फिर मैंने पुलिस के पास फोन किया, 112 पे पुलिस पे रिस्पांस हुआ, मैं कनेक्टर ने एम्बुलेंस को फोन किया, हमने उसको एहसास दिला, ठीक है भाई साहब ठीक हो, आप पानी ले आए अपनी बस से उसे क्या पानी ले आया, उसको पानी पिलाया। फिर विश्व पंत होश में आया, बोले मैं विश्व पंत हूँ। कौन मखा विश्व पंत है भाई साहब? बोले मैं क्रिकेटर विश्व पंत हूँ और ऐसे ऐसे। फिर उससे बात तो तेरी मखा ठीक हो, पानी पिलाया उसको। उसने फिर अपनी मम्मी का नंबर दिया, मैं सवारी को मैंने को बोला भाई ये नंबर मिला, जल्दी से नंबर मिला, उसकी मम्मी का स्विच ऑफ मिला। हम देखते रहे उसको, पूरी साइड में निकलती रही। फिर एम्बुलेंस आई 15 मिनट के बाद, हमने उसको एम्बुलेंस में बिठा के, उसके पैसे थे ये नहीं पता वो पैसे एम्बुलेंस वाले ने खा लिए कि नहीं, हमने कम से कम 10-20 हजार रुपए थे, हमने सारे रोड से इकट्ठे करके मैंने उसके विश्व पंत की मुट्ठी में दिए। मैं कहा भाई साहब ये आपके पैसे हैं, इनको संभाल के रखो, हम इलाज के लिए काम आएगा। हमें पता नहीं था ये भी इतना बड़ा क्रिकेटर, इतना बड़ा पंगा हो जाएगा।
जी, आप कह रहे हैं कि आपको समझ में ही नहीं आया कि वो ऋषभ पंत है, पहले आपको ये समझ में नहीं आया, उन्होंने बताया?
हाँ, ये तो ऋषभ पंत ने बताया कि मैं ऋषभ पंत हूँ। फिर मेरे कनेक्टर कहने लगा कौन ऋषभ पंत? बोला मैं क्रिकेटर हूँ। तो वो बोला सुशील ये तो एक इंडियन क्रिकेटर है। मैं इतना बड़ा ये ऐसे छोटी गाड़ी में यहाँ क्या कर रहा है? मैं क्रिकेटर, हमने मतलब सब पहले हमारी प्रायोरिटी ये है, क्योंकि हमारे को हमारे जीएम साहब भी बताते हैं भाई, हमारे जीएम साहब भाई हमने सबसे पहले रोड पे सेफ्टी करनी है, लोगों को बचाना है, वो जरूरी। हमें चाहते तो हम वीडियो बनाने लग जाते, ये कर जाते, वो कर जाते, हमने कुछ नहीं किया, सबसे पहले हमने उसको बचाया है।
जी बिल्कुल। पूछना चाहूंगी आपको क्या लगा, कितना ज्यादा चोट ऋषभ पंत को लगा हुआ था उस समय? और आपने एक चीज में क्लैरिफिकेशन और एक लेना चाहूंगी सुशील आपसे, आपने कहा कि जब आपने देखा कि गाड़ी में स्पार्किंग जब हुई तब आपने उन्हें गाड़ी से बाहर निकाला?
जी, उसकी डिग्गी साइड में सबसे पहले जब ये डिवाइडर से टकराते हुए आ रही थी, डिग्गी साइड से पार्किंग चिंगारी शुरू हुई थी। जब हमने निकाल लिया तो उसको साइड में करा, उसके बाद थोड़ी मैंने विश्व पंत से उस टाइम विश्व पंत मेरे से बात हुई, उससे विश्व पंत से पूछो, मैंने विश्व पंत पूछा भाई साहब गाड़ी में और तो नहीं है कोई, बताओ जल्दी बताओ, और तो नहीं कोई? नहीं मैं अकेला ही हूँ। मेरे हाथ पे भी मैंने हाथ काले हो गए थे। मैं कहा ये तो भाई, क्योंकि उसमें नादा निकले हुआ था, ये जब साइड में गिर लिया तब तो इसको होश आया था विश्व पंत को। मैंने पूछा इसे, क्योंकि मैं बार बार गाड़ी की तरफ भाग रहा था, मैं इसके अंदर कोई और बंदा तो नहीं है, और बंदा तो नहीं इसकी जान बचानी है।
जी, तो ऋषभ पंत एक और कंफर्मेशन चाहूंगी, क्योंकि आप जो विजुअल्स हैं उसमें से थोड़ा क्लैरिटी हमें चाहिए। अकेले थे गाड़ी पर उस समय?
नहीं, गाड़ी में मैं था, मेरा कनेक्टर था।
नहीं, ऋषभ पंत की गाड़ी में ऋषभ पंत के
नहीं, अकेले ऋषभ पंत थे जी, अकेले ऋषभ पंत थे। अगर उस गाड़ी में कोई और होगा तो देख, क्योंकि लपटें शुरू हो चुकी थी, पीछे गाड़ी में कुछ नहीं दिखाई दे रहा था उस टाइम फिर
जी,
क्योंकि हमने विश्व पंत को सबसे बाहर निकाल लिया था ना। वो मैंने उससे पूछा भाई कोई है इसमें? बोला नहीं मैं अकेला था।
जी बिल्कुल। उसके बाद आप कह रहे हैं कि अस्पताल पहुंचाया गया, आपने जब गाड़ी के बाहर उन्हें निकाला, कितनी ज्यादा चोट लगी हुई थी उनको?
उसके पूरे तो चेहरे पे चोट लगी हुई थी, पूरे कपड़े, कमर फटी हुई थी। अच्छा जी, उसके क्योंकि शरीर तो कपड़े नहीं थे ना, सारे कपड़े फटे हुए थे।
जी बने रहिए हमारे साथ सुशील, बिल्कुल 1 मिनट के लिए, बिकॉज दीज आर पिक्चर्स इन फैक्ट that have just emerged. This is the CCTV footage, in fact, that we put out for our viewers, in which you can clearly see the car crash. In fact, the car went and hit a divider, as is evident from these pictures, and then it burst into flames beyond a point. But before that, the man who pulled out Rishabh Pant from that car is with us right now. सुशील, बहुत ही आपने अच्छा काम किया. आपने ये भी कहा हमें कि आपको समझ में ही नहीं आया कि वो ऋषभ पंत है, आपने तो बस मदद करना चाहा. सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स हमें थोड़ा बताइए. एम्बुलेंस आपने कहा 15 मिनट के बाद आई. एम्बुलेंस में आपने चढ़ाया, एम्बुलेंस में आप गए या किसी कोई और गया, इसके बारे में हमें थोड़ा बताइए सुशील.
हेलो मैडम जी, एम्बुलेंस में कोई नहीं गया. ऋषभ पंत को बिठा दिया था. जो हमने वहाँ से पैसे उसके 500 के नोट से इकट्ठे थे, 6-7 हजार 10 हजार रुपए थे, वो इकट्ठे करके एक सवारी इकट्ठे करके लेके आई. बोले भाई साहब ये पैसे है इसके. मैंने ऋषभ पंत की मुट्ठी में वो पैसे डाल दिए. भाई साहब पैसे पकड़ो अपने. ठीक है. उसका बैग था, उसके कपड़े थे, वो बैग भी हमने एम्बुलेंस में डाल दिया था.
जी जी जी,
क्योंकि हमारे पास सवारियां होती है मैडम जी, हमारे पास इतना टाइम नहीं होता था कि हम हाईलाइट होते. तो मैं क्योंकि मैंने देखा भाई एम्बुलेंस नहीं आ रही, मैं बोला भाई बस को वापसी करो, हमारी बस काम करेगी एम्बुलेंस का, हम लेके जाते. इतने में एम्बुलेंस आ गई.
जी जी बिल्कुल. पंत ने आपसे उस समय कुछ कहा, क्या कहा, कुछ अगर बता सकते हैं. आपने कहा कि आपने उनकी मदर को भी फोन किया. जी, पंत ने बताया कि मैं पंत क्रिकेटर हूँ, तभी हमें पता लगा भी ये क्रिकेटर है. ठीक है, अच्छी बात है. फिर उसने कहा कि मैं भैया मखा कोई फोन नंबर है आपके पास? भाई सवारी थी हमारे पास, वहाँ खड़े थे. वो बोला कि ये नंबर है. इसकी मम्मी का फोन स्विच ऑफ मिला जी. जी जी जी, मदर का
स्विच ऑफ मिलने के बाद
जी
जी ये टाइम देखो, पुलिस मैं कह दूं पुलिस भी थोड़ी लेट आई जी. मैंने बार बार कहा भाई फायर को, गाड़ी में आग लगने लग रही है, आग लगने लग रही है. क्योंकि मेरे पास मैंने भी देखा, लोगों से मैंने हेल्प मांगी, फायर सिलेंडर दे दो. किसी ने गाड़ी नहीं रोकी. मेरे पास उत्तराखंड की 10 बसें निकल गई. मैं आगे चिल्लाता रहा, कार साइड में निकलती. मैं आपको वीडियो भेज रहा हूँ मैडम जी, उसमें देखो मेरा कनेक्टर चिल्लाने लग रहा है, साइड में गाड़ियां निकलने लग रही है, साइड में आग लग रही है. ये भी नहीं कि क्या इंसानियत खत्म है यहाँ भारत देश में.
जी जी बिल्कुल, मैं समझ रही हूँ सुशील. लेकिन आपने जो काम किया वो बहुत ही अच्छा किया. आप कह रहे कि आपने हेल्प किया. जी,
क्योंकि हमारे जीएम साहब है हरियाणा रोड से, जांगड़ा साहब, वो हमारे को शिक्षा देते हैं भाई नहीं पब्लिक की सेवा करनी, हम पब्लिक की सेवा के लिए लग रहे हैं. उसी के नेतृत्व में चल के हमने इतना बड़ा कदम उठाया. वो फट भी सकती थी उस टाइम जब आग लगी ना, सब वो गाड़ी फटने लगी फटाफट. हमने पब्लिक को दूर किया, भाई पीछे हो जाओ आप सारी सवारियां.
जी बिल्कुल सुशील, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ बातचीत करने के लिए. और आपने जान बचाया है, ऋषभ पंत का जान बचाया है आपने.
बिल्कुल. मैं तो बार उसके ऋषभ पंत के घर का नंबर निकाल रहा गूगल से, यूट्यूब से. मैं कहा उसकी तबीयत ठीक है, फिर मैंने यूट्यूब में डाला.
जी जी समझ
तो नहीं निकला. मैं कहा भाई इसकी, फिर मैंने आपका न्यूज देखा, चैनल देखा, मैंने इस पे निकला भाई तबीयत ठीक है उसकी. भाई ठीक है. मैं तो गाड़ी पानीपत खड़ी करके अपने घर पे आकर मैं कहा उसके बाद ही पता करूंगा भाई इसकी तबीयत कैसी है.
जी बिल्कुल सुशील, बहुत ही जिम्मेवारी का आपने काम किया. शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. यू हर्ड फ्रॉम सुशील. दिस इज द मैन हु पुल्ड ऋषभ पंत आउट ऑफ दैट कार which eventually in fact broke out into flames, caught fire as you can see in these pictures that we have accessed. Some of the onlookers in fact have put out this video. On the left side of your screen is that very moment that has been captured on CCTV cameras, where the car then went and hit a divider. As you can see, that particular moment caught on camera, and within a few moments it then breaks, then there's a fire that breaks out inside the car. But before that, Rishabh Pant is pulled out of the car by the man Sushil, who just spoke to India Today, narrating the sequence of events.
ये बंदा बेचारा देखो एक्सीडेंट हो गया सुबह.